Primetime weekend, and these days Westchester seems a lot more like heaven now that 7 lost angels have been returned to their former glory. At the Art of Glass studio in Media, Pennsylvania, Kathy Jordan cleans one of the 7 long-lost Tiffany stained glass windows. Each represents an angel. Total appraised value for the complete set is at least $1 million.
They're spectacular. They embody all the things that would be a signature Tiffany technique is in all these windows.
That Tiffany technique is prized by stained glass conservationist Art Feminella.
With the Tiffany windows, there are many things that would catch me. In terms of chemistry, I'd think of the glass. Tiffany went very, very far in developing his own glass, which is just spectacular. He was moving away from the 18th and 19th century stained glass ideal, which was heavily painted windows. He wanted the windows to glow once again. So he experimented with drapery glass and rippled glass and antique glass and modeled glass and all of these different glasses, many of them made in his own factory in Corona, Queens. And that's part of what makes his windows special.
Now, these windows were made by Louis Tiffany in his New York studio back in the 1890s. The Cincinnati church where they were installed in 1903 was torn down for highway construction in 1964, but not before the windows were removed and sold to the Swedenborgian Church at the Temenos Retreat Center in Westchester, Pennsylvania. That center included this old barn where the Tiffany windows were stored for years. Then, 2001, the church pastor, Reverend Susannah Currie, rescued some personal items from the barn's leaking roof. She also retrieved the windows, having no idea of their value.
When we took them out and saw them for the first time and realized their value, we obviously got a better storage location, and then we began a fundraise. But in 2004, we were given a $50,000 anonymous donation to start the restoration.
And that restoration started last summer here at the Kathy Jordan studio.
They weren't in bad shape considering that they had been stored since in the early 60s. There's significant and particular problems with each window, and we hope to be complete by May.
And after that,
since we don't have a main center building in which we can display them ourselves, we're going to put them on tour and send them around the country as messengers of peace, healing, and connection. And we hope that people will be interested in the historical story of their 45 years in boxes and how they came to us, that also the Tiffany techniques that were used to make the windows, and also perhaps it will begin a dialogue with people about how angels fit into their worldview.
Angels fit like a cornerstone into the beliefs of the Swedenborgian Church that grew out of the writings of Emanuel Swedenborg.
Swedenborg writes that the purpose of human life is to become a heavenly community, and all people who have lived in this world, when they pass to the next world, become angels of varying degrees of usefulness and varying degrees of contact with human beings.
Reverend Currie believes that they contacted her on the highway.
Myself was, I consider, saved by an angel from a car accident. I was at a red light. I always was one of those people that when the red light turned green, I would jackrabbit out and I would be right there. And I had my small son in the car seat next to me. And at this particular moment, and the light turned green, and I felt just that pushed my face to the side, and a voice said, "Appreciate your son." And I looked at him and I thought, you know, he was so cute, 2 years old, adorable. I looked back at a car, went through that light at 90 miles an hour. And I have no other explanation for how that happened, and that the two of us were saved from that, except the touch of an angel.
And now at this studio, angels are being saved from oblivion by the touch of a stained glass artist.
I'd love to see them as a complete set within a building after they've toured and they've reached out and touched everyone, that they eventually come back together the way they were originally intended, as a complete set all together. And I think it's just kind of romantic to think that they originally came to this particular church in Westchester because they were hoping they'd build a sanctuary and a church for them.
In the meantime,
there's a lot of great glass in this area. First Unitarian Church has some great windows. DiCenzo, who's a famous artist from Philadelphia, has a whole series of windows at Valley Forge that are pretty amazing. There's St. Mark's Church downtown, which has Westlake, which is an English maker. There's a great Tiffany mural that was designed by Maxfield Parrish and executed by Tiffany at the old Wright Publishing House downtown.
All across the Delaware Valley, stained glass windows come alive in the light, and they will stay young and vibrant for years to come, thanks to the work done right here.
And I feel it's my responsibility in this trade that someone take care of the windows of the past, and that's what I'm focusing on.